Insider, we've got a special guest joining us today who's recently graduated from our flagship course called the LMA. And she'll be sharing with us in terms of her journey, how she found the whole experience and everything in between. So just want to say it's a pleasure connecting with you. Let's start with the introductory question. What's your name? Where are you currently based? And what do you currently do?
Okay, so my name is Melissa, and I'm currently based in Maryland, very close to the DC area. And right now, I work as a quality assurance specialist. So I make sure everything is really safe in the environment that I work in.
Okay, nice. Let's just rewind time, Melissa, in terms of before you had come across the LMA journey and gone through
Mhm.
this breakthrough experience. Do you mind just sharing with us a bit of a glimpse in terms of what was the problems that were showing up in your life and how did that specifically look and feel to you?
Mm. Yes, right before I found LMA, I was sort of in a dark place because of the COVID situation. I had lost my job, and knowing I didn't know then, but now I realize that I equated my validation and my value to the income that I'm bringing in, how much I can provide. So that was a really rough time for me. I was just feeling like I didn't have anything to give the world because I didn't have any money. And so finding LMA was really like this really bright spot in my life because it made me realize that it wasn't the fact that I wasn't making money that was making me feel that way. It was the fact that I was choosing to sit in this and to feel as if I didn't have any value. But in reality, I could just really say, you know what, today I'm going to get up. Today I'm going to do something that brings me joy. Today I'm going to do something that makes me feel purposeful. And
Mm,
those are the choices that I learned through LMA that can just completely change my life, which it has.
okay. So you're saying you had just lost your job
I did.
because of the COVID situation and you was finding,
Well, I had lost it maybe 4 months ago, but I was still unemployed.
right.
Yes,
And you was experiencing some, let's say, emotional fluctuation in terms of some states and so forth.
for sure. From anger to sadness to disbelief.
Yeah.
It was like a mourning period. At the 7 stages of grief, I honestly went through that with this. It was like I was mourning the old person I was that felt like my value was placed in the job. And
Right.
it wasn't until I started to choose other things to find my value that I did.
Okay. Do you recall how you came across us for the first time?
YouTube,
YouTube.
a YouTube ad. And I almost, when you're on YouTube and you have that skip ad button, you just automatically do it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, my hand went to the mouse, but it didn't click. It just listened. I listened to you actually. And I don't know what it was. I don't know what made this different because I had seen tons of ads
Mm.
just the same on YouTube, every video. But for some reason, it just made me stop. And I'm so grateful that I did.
And you end up attending that free masterclass, which was
I
to
did.
do with life reinvention. And
Yes.
you was offered during that chance an opportunity to learn further from us on board our LMA course. So if you were to be honest, because you had essentially lost your job and so forth, and you was experiencing what you've just described, what
Yes.
was like the biggest fears or doubts you had before making the decision to join LMA? And what ended up putting that fear and doubt to rest for you?
That's a really good question because when I clicked onto the masterclass, I
Mm.
already had in my mind I wasn't buying anything. Like I had said to myself, I'm receiving this free masterclass and that's it. Do not buy. Um, but by the end of the by the end of the conversation that we were having on the masterclass, I just felt like you really understood what I was going through based off the story that you told me about your life. And I felt like you understood the just how far down I was and how you climbed up. So it really just gave me the inspiration to try and really invest in myself, which is something that I hadn't done before, really just choosing myself, even though I didn't have the comfortability to choose myself in that moment because I didn't really have the money, but I just decided to go for it. I don't know if that answered the
Yeah, it
question,
does.
but
I think I
okay.
can resonate a lot with it. I mean, having been in that situation, investing in myself when it can feel quite hard to, let's say, financially as well as emotionally. I know sometimes I hear a lot of voices prior to that decision. So did you end up just taking that leap almost immediately, or was there some hesitation? Like, what did that decision making process look like?
It was, I don't think the class had finished. The class hadn't finished at that point when I knew that I was going to buy. And then when you gave us the opportunity, I was one of the first, I think, to just click on it. It already put my
Oh,
information in and my card in. And by the time I was already enrolled, the masterclass was still going. So it was in the middle somewhere. I just decided this is what I'm supposed to do.
okay. So you end up taking that leap and joining us
Mhm.
called LMA. What would you
Yes.
say in terms of initial first impressions when you got involved with the work, when you got
Yeah.
involved with the community? What made you feel the happiest about making that decision?
Oh, it was definitely the community. I actually, so the first time I did week one,
Mm,
I felt, it felt great. I had a huge drive, but by the end of week one, I started having those same feelings of doubt and just feeling like this isn't working for me and just giving me those negative thoughts to make me stop, which succeeded in the past. But
mm,
then when we had the live version of LMA for season 11 and having that community and just really getting involved with the Facebook group chat and having those conversations, that is really what kept me there. Because even though the tools were great, it was the community that allowed me to use those tools, and it was that experiential learning that kept me coming back, because it doesn't really mean anything if you have all these tools in your head but you don't use them.
mm.
It's pretty much useless, but the community is what brought that out of me and made me keep coming back.
Right. So I appreciate firstly your honesty. You're saying when you was going for it on your own, you find it
Mhm.
almost like the survival brain was getting the best of you. Yeah.
Yes,
But you decide to get involved with the live version, which is of course the bonus. And you found that much, I suppose, easy in a way because you got the support from all of us. Yeah.
absolutely. And just seeing the comments in the live and seeing how everyone is processing this information at the same time and going through the same things that you're going through, and we're just sharing those stories and those feelings, it just makes you feel like you're not alone. A lot of times when you're in those spaces, what really amplifies those emotions is because you feel like you're all alone and there's really no one who understands what you're going through.
Yeah.
So to all this community of people who understand, and even if they don't go through the same thing, they empathize and they support, it just made a whole difference. I,
Mm.
it's completely different.
So when you joined,
Yes.
was the live LMA happening quite close to when you joined, or was it like a month away? Or
No, it was, I did the week one, and then I think maybe 6 weeks had passed, and then the
oh,
live started. So it was,
okay.
I had completely shut down the first time I had gone by myself. And I don't know, I think just the community part and the live part made me come back, and that's why I kept going. Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty, and it is not the first time I've
Yeah.
heard that. Hence why we did include the live version. It does make a lot of difference for some individuals out there, just having that support. So you're saying that was what made the big difference for you, yeah?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm a person who isolates anyway. So to do it on my own, it just was more of the same. It didn't make me want to actually go out and extend myself.
Mm,
But seeing other people, it's really weird because when you're in the group and you're seeing everybody really put their best foot forward and they're really showing up to empower us, and then it makes you want to do the same thing. Like, you just don't want to keep receiving, you want to give those that same energy and that same inspiration. So it's almost motivation.
right. So what would you say overall in terms of the LMA methodology as a whole?
Mhm.
Which week of LMA did you find the most difficult in a good way? And how did it benefit your life once you did the work?
Oh, week 5, the abundant mindset was probably the most difficult, because I had the most resistance. But I knew that's because I really needed to learn these new beliefs. Understanding that like money is the way that I see it now is that money is the last form of abundance. It's sort of the last form that comes to you once you're abundant internally. And that was very separate to me. It was like I can make money, but at the same time, I have all of these lacking beliefs within myself that it was blocking me. And it was hard to come to terms with that because a lot of the beliefs that I had were from other people. And I hadn't even realized that until LMA. So, really just um, looking within myself and understanding what I really wanted and how I show up in life. If how I show up in life really attracts that. And what I realized that it didn't. And I had to really turn that around. And now I just feel so much more abundant in ways that I didn't even know were possible. Like abundant with my relationships with my family. It's probably the number one change in my life because I just communicate with them much more openly and honestly because I don't feel like the provider anymore who's just giving money. I'm giving of myself.
Mm.
And that's I think is the key. It's not really of giving, it's more about giving of myself and showing up the way that the people in the LMA group had showed up and really made me want to start using these tools in action. And once I started to do that, everything started to change. There's so many new possibilities in my life right now and new opportunities because I started to look within first and started to feel abundant within myself first.
Love it.
So, yes.
So what sort of how's it specifically benefit you? Like what sort of changes, like possibilities have you now been able to see in your life?
Oh, wow. So, it's weird because LMA has really been the catalyst to so much positive change in my life. So now I'm taking care of myself more. I'm eating better. I'm seeing a chiropractor. I'm seeing like wellness, like getting massages every other week and just doing things like that. But then I'm also working, like I took a step forward and I realized through LMA that I want to be a speaker. Like I want to help people with this work. So I started taking a speaking course. I'm actually helping my mom. She started a 501(c)(3) too, and it's helping youth from 18 to 22, and I'm helping build the curriculum for that and using all of these tools that I've gotten throughout my life and helping her build that curriculum, which I just feel so blessed because it's what I've always wanted to do, but felt like I couldn't
Yeah.
because I just felt like my life is a mess. How in the world can I be helping someone else?
Mm.
But it's through helping others that I help myself, I realized through LMA. Um, I'm moving. I'm getting a new place at the end of this month.
Oh,
It's just so
fantastic.
much change. I'm taking yoga classes. It's so much. I'm going to a healing retreat in 3 weeks. Like it's like this abundant flow that happens. Like once you're in alignment, things just sort of start to come to you that continue down that path. And
Mm.
it's a really beautiful thing to see because I couldn't see that before.
Right. So now you're in this abundant flow. You've just been seeing these
Yes.
opportunities just unfold just naturally. That's
Yes.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Um, what would you say in terms of advising, let's say an individual right now who's checking out this video, who's wanting to go through the LMA journey for the first time, what advice would
Mhm.
you give them so they can get the most from this experience?
Um, I would say be patient. Um, is probably the number one thing for me. A lot of times, I think what really stopped me the first time that I did it, the 6 weeks ago, was because I was trying to microwave my growth. Kind of, it was like, okay, I did it for a week. I'm not seeing any changes. What's happening? So then I start to feel inadequate and it brings up those feelings of unworthiness. Like, why is it not working?
Yeah.
But really, it takes time. Like, we are unlearning so many things that we've known our whole life. So it's going to take more than a week. So just to be patient and to do your best. And sometimes your best is not going to be the same as it was yesterday, but to give yourself that grace and faith to know that it is working and it is changing. But you just have to be patient with yourself and give yourself that grace and that love. Be really gentle with yourself through this process because it is a lot, especially if you have a lot to unpack, a lot of beliefs that you didn't even know were beliefs.
Mm,
Um, so just being loving, love yourself, be gentle with yourself, I would say, and
mhm.
patient.
Yeah, I think that's such a valuable reminder and lesson in terms of it's like anything in life, right? If you want to lose
Hmm.
weight and you try to rush that, you get into a yo-yo
Yes.
sort of diets and it's a big fad, right? But if you're
Hmm.
patient, take it step by step, you're able to get that result and a long-lasting effect. And I think that's what it's all about. Let me ask you, you've been on YouTube before, and I'm sure you've come across similar work to LMA before. It seems like you have anyhow. The way you
Hmm.
articulate your information with clarity. That's what I love about you, by the way.
Oh,
Amazing
thanks.
articulation. Um, but in terms of LMA, what makes it different from other things you have tried in the past? What makes LMA different from other processes, essentially?
Hmm. LMA, it really just hit my heart. I don't know how to say it in a way that um, it the way it was almost, I think it's more because like you, Tim, I just really feel like you understand me. And it didn't feel like it didn't feel like I was in a program. It felt like I was in a family.
Mm,
And I felt like everyone around me really cared about what was going to happen to me in making sure that I succeeded. And it starts from the top to all the way down to just the people who join, from you to the other success insider team, and to the community. We all just really want to see each other win.
mm,
Someone in the group said that we're a group of people who really want to be good people, and that's it. It's just like this community, the standard that you've set, in terms of building this empire. It's the it seems like the number one thing that you want from us is to be good people and to be good people to other people. And you can just tell that. And it makes it a very safe place. So I felt safe to show those sides that I didn't really like.
mm.
And then having that support and not feeling judged, it just made me want to show up even more, and to create that space for other people,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely
Yes.
does. So I just want to just end it on this by firstly saying thank you for your time today, sharing with us
Mhm.
your feedback in terms of how you found the journey, because individual watching this video right now will definitely be resonating with it. And I also want to mention, as mentioned on week 6, it's definitely not the end for us. It's just a new beginning,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Life is a constant evolving journey. So I look forward to seeing like how we grow over the upcoming months, over the upcoming years. And also to the rest of you, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, follow your
Thank
heart and take
you.
action. And let's create the life you're truly born to live.